Welcome back to the lands of Tyria, fellow heroes, travelers, and hunters. Are you ready to go out and face mind-bending dangers, the likes of which no mortal could fathom? Well, if you're not, that's cool. All you need is some new weapons, and maybe some new armor, some food, maybe some experience boosters, a relic, a mini, a fashionable wardrobe, and a bunch of sigils, runes, and other stuff. And as it happens, I know where you can get all that. At the Black Lion Trading Company. They're mostly based in Lion's Arch, but don't worry, you don't even have to go there. They have agents all over the world. Also, I guess that's what we're talking about today. The Black Lion Trading Company. Guys, I had to do some serious internet archaeology to find out all this crazy lore. And if you're tired of everyone pointing and laughing at your non-glowing shoes and your dumb-looking helmet, hit like and subscribe. As a warning, this video contains spoilers for the story of Guild Wars 2. Alright, let's get into it. The Black Lion Trading Company may not be one of the oldest institutions on Tyria, but its story is no less complex and interesting for that fact. Today, it offers services of all kinds to the people of Tyria and the lands beyond, buying, selling, and maintaining goods of all sorts. If you've been adventuring across Tyria, then you'll have encountered the company in one form or another at some point. You've either run into their agents and merchants stationed in large cities or tiny outposts offering merchant and repair services. Or you'll have purchased your first really powerful weapon or a strong piece of armor from them. There's no getting away from the company. Crafters need the schematics and parts they sell. Chefs can't get all their ingredients without using the trading post. And no one who wants to face some of the greatest dangers the world has to offer can afford not to purchase their upgrades. They've become the most useful institution in the world to those in need of a place to buy and sell, and with that comes power. They've gotten so huge it's hard to remember a time in the history of Tyria when they weren't around, even if you've been adventuring since before they began their operation. But it didn't start as you might think, a small business that simply grew and grew. No, there's much more to it than that. The Black Lion Trading Co. is relatively new as far as Tyria is concerned. Despite its age, it's had such a huge impact on the world. Where did it begin? Well, to answer that, we have to talk about Aria Venom. Some of you may have met her in passing. Others may never have noticed her, though you very likely passed close by. Aria spends most of her time at Blackhaven in Kessex Hills, a small trading post and military outpost that protects trade routes between the western cities and the port of Lion's Arch. The fort stands just east of a major centaur camp and is the last Lion Guard post between Kessex Hills and Genderon Fields. Aria is herself a necromancer, and her demeanor suggests that she spends a little too much time among the dead. But when Draethor, a powerful Harathi necromancer, begins taking innocent citizens and traveling merchants prisoner, Aria doesn't let this go unpunished, nor will she let the corpses of the dead remain in his grasp. She'll aid in the fight against Draethor, and with her help, the corpses of the slain can be collected and returned to town. She intends to resurrect them as flesh golems. Perhaps it's what they would have wanted. Either way, she's doing her best to protect the citizens of Kessex Hills. The quest and resultant items have been occurring in the world of Tyria for some time, all thanks to one young team member named Emily. Emily had been a Guild Wars 1 player for a long time, and as a result of some unfortunate circumstances and the kindness of strangers, she was given the opportunity to showcase her immense creativity and joined the team at ArenaNet to help design a quest during the early days of production. Her necromancer, Aria Venom from Guild Wars 1, has been immortalized in Tyrian history ever since. You can also find a reference to her in the book Sea of Sorrows by Rhys Sosby, in the form of the book's dedication page. So what has this got to do with the Black Lion Trading Company, you ask? Well, I think if you were listening closely, all the pieces were there. Among those who are threatened by the menacing evil of Draethor are a group of merchants called Black Lion Traders in reference to the fact that they traveled from Black Tide Den all the way to Lion's Arch. Thus was the Black Lion Trading Company born, growing from there into the sprawling merchant entity we know today. But of course, the story doesn't end there. In fact, it doesn't really even start there. Nothing in Tyria is ever so neat, and so of course, we have to talk about Evan Nashblade and the Ash Legion. The Ash Legion performs intelligence for the Char military, using deception and trickery as tools of war. They're one of the 4 high legions of the Char, though their homeland is unknown. This may be due to war and catastrophe, or it may be a purposeful decision. It wouldn't be out of their character. Prior to the events surrounding the destruction of Old Lion's Arch, Evan Nashblade, as a member of the Nash Warband, traveled to Lion's Arch to take part in a clandestine mission to extort the people of the city. Lion's Arch has always been a central hub for business, both legitimate and not, being the continent's biggest pirate port. And back in those days, before the rebuilding, it was even rougher. The people of Lion's Arch are the descendants of pirates, led by savvy captains well known for their cunning. Evan became aware of this, and as the story goes, disobeyed an order to stop the operation, believing that it would fail. We'll never know if he was correct because Arya Nashblade, legionnaire of the warband, attempted to slay him for his disobedience. This failed, and Evan survived. He then became the head of the operation. Wounded, but still strong, the warband founded the Black Lion Trading Company as a legitimate business. Evan, now the owner of a well-funded trading company, began to expand operations and to take part in the greater events occurring at that time. During the race to elect a new Captain's Council in Lion's Arch, Evan purchased a ship, making him an official captain and therefore eligible to run for the council in an attempt to increase the reach and power of the company. He eventually lost the race to Captain Ellen Keel, which was probably for the benefit of the city, for reasons that will become clear in a moment. When Scarlet Briar attacked Lion's Arch, Nashblade used the Asurgates to safely transport much of his fortune to safety, eventually cutting off the gate from the other side and leaving many citizens trapped during the catastrophe. Captain Keel eventually ordered Nashblade and his company's merchants to join the Lion Guard and act as official quartermasters for the army. Failing to do so would elicit the penalty of death. The company begrudgingly fulfilled their duties, but Nashblade found ways to turn this to his advantage. In the end, Nashblade and the trading company funded part of the city's rebuilding, providing materials for the effort and employing armor repair specialists to work for free. While this sounds like a story of redemption, he also placed a spy on the Captain's Council, and he had a stronger vault built to protect his company's interests in the city. He never stopped being angry at having lost his chance to sit on the council himself. During the events surrounding contact between Central Tyria and Amnoon in the Crystal Desert, Nashblade sent agents to make contact with the merchant lords of the nation. Evan and the company were part of the effort to help the Zephyrites following the destruction of their sanctum ships. During these events, he and Captain Keel spoke at length about the past and present, and their rivalry seems to have largely settled as a result. Besides all this history, then, what can the Black Lion Trading Company offer to the adventurers of the world? Services offered by the company are available through their own storefront, of course, but there's much more to them than that. Beyond what you can find in their main branches, you'll also find Black Lion merchants selling unique products and services stationed all around the world. When it was much easier for things to break, let's say, they were instrumental in ensuring that repair services for armor were available. With recent changes to the world's underlying magic, armor can now be reinforced at these stations instead. A dedicated anvil station or merchant tasked with performing the operation can be found stationed at strategic locations around the world, thanks to the company's efforts. These are the armor smiths. While adventurers can buy and sell in the shop wherever, item pickup must generally be done through a merchant working at a company outlet or stationed at an outpost or behind the lines of a given battlefront. Those merchants who travel risk their lives to conduct business on behalf of the company and provide many services to adventurers in need, if they've got some coin, of course. Most company traders allow access to the vast array of in-shop goods and services, and these include the currency exchange, where customers can buy and sell gems at the current market value in gold. Gems are a crucial currency in the world of Tyria, being the key to purchasing many of the more interesting and useful items available. The gem store allows customers to trade gems for goods and services not available through normal trade. These items have unique properties and are impossible to obtain without spending gems, usually. The gem store offers things like makeover kits, gathering tools of all types and tiers, mount licenses, fashion items, passes to various exclusive zones, nodes and useful decor items, other tools and devices with strange and arcane properties, and so many other things that you'll just have to go see for yourself. Things you can buy here are often shipped via the mail, so you'll want to keep an eye on your inbox once you've placed an order. Then, of course, the company also provides Tyrians with access to the trading post. It's here that items from across the world are bought and sold between parties for coin. You can find weapons, armor, recipes, upgrades, skins, craft materials, bags and containers, and so many other amazing things, either found or made by your fellow adventurers. If you're a merchant yourself, you'll need access to the trading post to sell your wares. There's no benefit to be had just standing in a swamp waiting for a bunch of heroes to come through waving their swords and hoping they'll need what you're selling. Post it on the trading post for a decent price and it won't take long before you're rolling in coins. Are you more of a gatherer? Well, here, you can also sell all the materials you've collected on your travels. I mean, if you're not going to do anything with them, why not make some money, right? So many adventurers have been equipped and funded by trips to and from the trading post, and that's an integral part of our world. Items purchased or profits from items sold here will need to be collected at your local company merchant, available in most cities or stationed where they'll be most convenient, and least likely to be eaten by a dragon or their minions. Speaking of the company's many agents, they employ traders who travel the world selling things that are difficult or impossible to get through other means. We've seen the kind of trouble they can get into if we've helped Arya to dispatch Draethor before he kills all the captured merchants, but if we manage to save them, we can get access to a special item from one who sets up shop nearby afterwards. This is the case with many of the merchants we can find roaming the world. If we help them out, either by saving them from some catastrophe or providing security for a caravan route, they'll offer us something at a reasonable price that we wouldn't be able to get otherwise. There are other sorts of traders and agents, of course. The trading company employs a number of estheticians who work primarily out of the capital cities to provide hair and makeover services in exchange for vouchers or kits. The Black Lion chest merchant will allow you to exchange Black Lion statuettes for special items. Statuettes are most often obtained by opening Black Lion chests. Black Lion weapon specialists trade special weapons to adventurers in exchange for special vouchers. They're mostly found around the vaults of Lion's Arch. There are also a number of single specialty merchants you can find. Their purposes are many and varied, often tailored to the locations where they're found. You can find unique items and bundle items from them which can be extremely useful, or just trade with them if your inventory happens to be full. Many travel and can be found wandering alone or as part of a caravan, one that may need protecting. So look out for those, if you're in the market for work. Besides Nashblade's political aspirations and their aforementioned activities during various significant events, the Black Lion Trading Company is involved in a few other areas beyond just trade and commerce. Agents of the company can often be found operating special machinery in places where they can be of aid to those in the area. A good example is the Worksite Medic, who operates a healing turret in the Lion's Arch Aerodrome to heal nearby combatants. And make no mistake, the company's established itself in so many places, its net of agents and assets is vast. From the besieged fortresses deep in the impenetrable Maguma jungle to the forged, scoured lands of the Crystal Desert, there's nowhere they won't go to sell you a few shiny baubles or a new weapon. In fact, it's hard to imagine that there's any trade on the continent that they don't know about. That's possibly less sinister than it sounds, or maybe more, it's hard to say. In the old days, one walking the long and dangerous path of the adventurer or hero could find agents of the Zunlai Banking Guild, who would store items for you in between merchants. Since contact with the guild was cut off long ago, new companies have stepped in to fill the niche. While the Black Lion Trading Company could not be considered a direct successor to the Zunlai, they provide access to many of the institutions that are. Banks in all major cities are run by their own factions, and through the trading company and its many agents, access can be purchased and used nearly anywhere in the world, allowing quick and easy transfer and storage of one's treasure. Their mobile bankers can be summoned on demand, even in the most dangerous of circumstances. They don't seem too worried about it. I hope they're well paid. Today, the Black Lion Trading Company has become the world's most successful venue for commerce of all kinds, facilitating large-scale transactions, the likes of which one-on-one trading couldn't possibly accomplish. Despite their not-so-humble beginnings to the now worldwide net of agents, assets, holdings, and probably spies, they are run by a former Ash Legion soldier after all, they aren't all bad. But they aren't all good either. Though it's most likely that all their goals and machinations boil down to one simple desire: profit. That's pretty much it. Their growth has given them power. It's very likely that as more goods and services are required by the people of Tyria and the lands beyond, the Black Lion Trading Company will find a way to provide. Commerce is no doubt the driving force behind so much of the politics of the world, and the company has its finger directly on the scales. It's worth remembering that while they've been helping the Lion Guard and keeping the citizens with whom they trade safe, they have at times needed to be forced to do so. An organization with so much power can turn small decisions into big changes, and while they are checked to some degree by competitors like the Consortium, the status quo must always change one way or another in the end. The future is an undiscovered country, and the minds and hearts can quickly change. Be wary. Be wary of power and exclusivity. Be wary of the trappings of wealth and normality. Let's hope that we never have to fill a void so large left behind if the company should fail to survive one catastrophe or another. Let's hope even more fervently that they don't turn their hand and find that they'll be better served by opposing the forces that protect the world. Let's hope we can keep what little peace we can maintain, and that the agents and proprietors of the largest trading company yet known will move and grow with us. In the meantime, save up your coin. You won't get far unless you can afford to keep up your gear before heading out on an adventure. And as always, make sure you look sharp doing it. Well, I hope you managed to get everything on your shopping list. It's time to go monster hunting and show off our cool new outfits at the same time. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate everyone who does, especially if you stick around to the end. If you liked the video, hit like. And if you really liked it, hit subscribe. And let me know what you think in the comments. Oh, and before you go, I want to give a shout out to my patrons who help support the channel. Our $10 patron is Washuki at the artisan level. Head on over and sign up for some extra videos I don't put on the channel. It would really help me out. And remember, don't worry if the gear you pick up looks like something that's been lying around in a carker nest for over a century. Just buy a few transmutation charges. It'll look good as new. Nothing we can do about the smell, though. Alright, thank you all. Bye, Internet.